video, we're going to talk about skillet meals and tips and tricks for getting meals from the freezer in your skillet and on to your table. We have a lot of skillet meals. We have a lot of meal starters in our skillet category as well. These are meals that we're getting into the freezer. It might not be the complete meal that's in the freezer, but it's the start of a meal. And so it'll be really easy to take that meal and reheat it or cook it in the skillet. So reheating meals that have browned ground beef, typically we've already cooked the meat and then we're going to reheat everything. Or it's something like pork chops or chicken breasts or chicken thighs where you're going to be cooking the chicken or the pork chop or whatever, salmon even. Once it's been frozen, you're going to then cook it after that. Once you've reheated or cooked whatever it may be, you might be asked to add pasta or rice, even swirl in some tortillas or crushed tortilla chips on top, depending on the recipe. So be sure to get it warmed and cooked through all the way and then follow the directions to add the pasta, the rice. If you are going to be adding the pasta or rice with some sort of a liquid, you're going to want to make sure you have a tight fitting lid for your skillet so that no steam escapes and the pasta and the white rice cooks nicely. If you are a brown rice aficionado and you don't want to cook with white rice, most of our skillet recipes do call for white rice. You'll want to cook the brown rice separately and then stir it in with the meal starter base. You won't need to add any extra liquid because it will already be cooked. Our rice will already be cooked. So if you want to use brown rice or another hearty grain that takes longer than 15 to 20 minutes in the skillet, you'll want to cook that separately. And that's just to keep everything in the skillet. If you cook the skillet meal too long, it will start to dry out and crust on the bottom of your skillet. We don't want that to happen. Another question we get asked a lot about skillet meals is fresh versus frozen. Sometimes the cooking directions for fresh cooking something fresh are different as if it's been frozen, because typically it's been frozen with the sauce or some other ingredients. And so it might be slightly different. You might not heat the olive oil when you're using a frozen meal. You might just cook everything together that has already been frozen with the meat and the sauce. And so there might be a few differences. We tend to tell you what the difference in cooking method might be from frozen under the freeze thaw recommendations, and the cooking after that is included there. So we'll be clear on that in those recipes. So there's a couple tips for you in the skillet recipe category. If you want to check out the other videos we have here, lots of great tips for the different types of cooking methods and types of recipes that we have here in My Freeze Easy.